Welcome to another dojo topic. I was saying to the members today, when we had our live discussion, I said, every week when I'm putting the finishing touches on the topic, I feel like, oh my gosh, this is the best topic ever. And it feels like every week is just all you need to know. But of course, each topic feeds into another topic, and yet each topic is a standalone topic. But there was a really great discussion over today's topic, and we were discussing when life feels like a battle. Like, do you ever feel like, oh my God, life feels like such an uphill battle? Well, if that has been your experience or continues to be your experience, maybe that's why you attracted today's video. So I'm going to share my screen with you and share with you what we discussed in the video today in the dojo today. But of course, I'm just so happy that you came across this information if life is feeling like an uphill battle. And just a reminder before we begin, nothing shared here is meant to become a rule, belief, or teaching you must follow. You're always invited to take what resonates and release anything that doesn't, because your inner wisdom is always the final authority. Last week, our topic of conversation was, how can I possibly be the infinite, impersonal, effortless being? So if you were not able to join us live or you've not yet seen the video, I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video. But today, as I mentioned, we're talking about life beyond the battle, that uphill battle that life can sometimes be. So what if peace was never something you had to fight for? I mean, just sit with that question for a minute. Whenever you're feeling like or thinking that life is an uphill battle or you're struggling with something, what if you could just ask yourself the question, well, what if this isn't meant to be a fight? What if this isn't meant to be a battle? And one of the members in the dojo brought up a really great example today about something she was questioning in a relationship. And boy, sometimes battles or struggles can really show up in relationships, can't they? And we discussed that all the way through using the example of the koshas. And when you're using the koshas as an example, I mean, these types of experiences that come up, um, what David Bingham calls invitations, when we're getting an invitation to believe that this perceived unwanted experience is such a battle or such a struggle, it makes it so much easier to walk through it and return to the light. So, in asking, what if peace was never something you had to fight for? I think it leads to the question, so what is a battle? Because a battle requires two or more opposing forces, something to fight against, something to defend, resistance, opposition, and separation. But what happens when life itself is seen as the enemy? Many people unconsciously move through life thinking they must fight circumstances. They must fight the emotions, fight uncertainty, fight change, fight themselves. And over time, man, life can feel so exhausting. Life changes can make people feel lost, and there are seasons in life that can quietly change how people experience themselves. Seasons like divorce, career changes, empty nesting, financial stress, loss of a loved one, emotional heartbreak, unexpected endings, major life transitions. These experiences can create uncertainty, fear, exhaustion, to the point that life feels like an uphill battle or something you must fight your way through. It can be such a struggle. It can seem like such a struggle, actually. And many people quietly wonder, How do I fight to rebuild myself after everything has changed? After this experience, how do I fight this battle? How do I get out of this? Difficult seasons can affect self-worth, and painful experiences not only affect emotions, they can deeply shape identity. Many people begin believing they have to hold everything together in order to make their life work the way they want. And what does that mean? They're trying to control life. They're trying to control what happens next. They feel the need to prove themselves so they won't slow down. They worry about falling behind in life or that somehow, somewhere, they must have failed. To feel safe, they need to control everything. So the nervous system becomes trained for protection. And eventually, peace begins to feel unfamiliar. And it seems like you've lost your way. Most suffering is not coming from life itself. It comes from resistance to what's already here. Resisting emotions, resisting uncertainty, resisting pain, resisting change, resisting ourselves. The mind creates conflict by believing this moment should not be happening. This moment is something that needs to be resisted. That's where the conflict comes in. The moment we believe there is a me and there is a life I must fight for, conflict is born. Life experiences create emotional armor, and over time, people build protection through hyper independence, perfectionism, control, overthinking, emotional walls, constant self improvement, not because they are broken, but because life taught them protection felt necessary. And yet, armor becomes heavy when it's worn too long. Many people approach life transitions as though they are hurdles to jump or something they must conquer, trying to hold it all together, trying to prove they're okay, trying to outrun grief, trying to force certainty, trying to immediately reinvent themselves. But rebuilding yourself is not about jumping hurdles or trying to become someone else. It's about reconnecting with the deeper part of yourself that exists without fear, identity, roles, expectations, and survival patterns. Awareness creates space for healing. Awareness allows. Awareness notices. Awareness witnesses. The moment you stop arguing with what is present, something begins to soften. And this doesn't mean passivity. It means no longer being internally at war with what is. Imagine standing in a battlefield after the war is over. The armor is no longer needed. The weapons can rest. The nervous system no longer braces. For many people, this is unfamiliar because survival became identity. You are more than the roles you've carried. So when life changes, create unconscious beliefs like, I no longer know who I am. My value depends on what I achieve. I have to keep earning love and approval. I should have my life figured out by now. Remind yourself that you don't have to fight for self-worth. It doesn't come from performance, perfection, or keeping everything together. It comes from recognizing what you are beneath the conditioning, beneath the fear, and changing seasons of life. Healing happens when the inner war ends. So ask yourself, what if life is not punishing me? What if life is not testing me? What if life is not demanding battle from me? What if existence itself is simply unfolding and what you truly are has always been untouched beneath every experience? Because those intense feelings and emotions, they're simply a reminder that you've created a choice. The intensity is not here to destroy you. It's simply revealing where existence is, where resistance exists, where identity is attached, where fear still believes separation is real. Your true nature remains untouched. What would happen if you stop fighting and start asking, what battle am I tired of fighting? What am I constantly trying to control? Where am I resisting life? Who would I be without the need to defend myself? What if I allowed this moment to simply be instead of fighting it? Because life is not a battle. You do not have to fight your way through every life transition. You don't have to figure out why every thought, feeling, emotion, or experience is showing up. You don't have to lose yourself because life changed in some way. You don't have to spend your life at war with your circumstances. Life isn't about rebuilding yourself or creating a new identity. It's about remembering what remains untouched beneath every changing season. Awareness, wholeness, presence. These are that part of you that exists before every role, every heartbreak, every loss, and every beginning. Lack is abundance playing a role. Sickness is health playing a role. Sadness is joy playing a role. Death is life playing a role. Grief is love playing a role. Every role being played is only arising within the wholeness of what you are. You are attributeless. The role may change, but the awareness beneath it becomes untouched. This is why life was never truly a battle. They are only the temporary identities within the play, while believing they were separate from the whole. Today's topic is your invitation to remember that what you truly are is never in conflict at all. You are the attributeless, infinite, sovereign being. The perceived battle only happens when you allow the mind to convince you otherwise. There is no fight that needs to be fought and no battle that needs to be won. These are simply roles being played within the dream of separation. You can continue identifying with the role or remember yourself as the infinite, sovereign being that you are. Joy, peace, happiness, abundance, prosperities. These are not things you must battle life to receive. They are expressions of your true nature. The battle only appears real when there is belief that something needs to be forced, earned, or conquered in order to experience them. Come back to what's real again and again until it becomes how you live, the effortless way you live. Awareness, non-duality, emotional freedom, unity consciousness. Life is an energy game. When you understand how it works, miracles become a way of life. Join us inside the dojo for deeper conversation, reflection, and expansion. There's a reason you attracted this video. If you feel the pull, consider joining us live. Oh, take a deep breath. How has your perception of life being a struggle or life being a battle shifted in any way? How has your perception of needing to control situations shifted in any way? I know, coming from a very traumatic childhood, there came a time when the identity that is Nancy believed that control needed to be held in every aspect so that she felt safe. And that identity takes on a persona of its own. And when you feel the need to control in any given situation, you're not at rest. It's not a peaceful state of being. And boy, that struggle can just seem overwhelming, like it just takes you over. If you want any kind of support with this type of non-dual activity, visit me at masteringyourbeliefs.com. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.